shortly, but since it is 7 o'clock and we have folks here to conduct business, I'm going to start. I'll start by calling to order this meeting, which is the December 16th, 2025 meeting of the West Newbury Planning Board. The first item on our agenda tonight is a public hearing regarding the Major Boyd Drive subdivision final bond release. So the first order of business is that I will make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Ann Bardine,
Cook,
aye.
aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Rob Phillips, aye.
All right, 4 of the 5 voting members are present, and we've voted to open the public hearing. We need to read the legal ad. Chris, would you please do that for us? Can you share that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Pursuant to MGL Chapter 41, Section 81 of the West Newbury Subdivision Rules and Regulations, the West Newbury Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025, during a meeting that begins at 7 p.m. to consider requests for final bond release for the approved and completed definitive subdivision filed as Major Boyd Drive, previously located at 519 Main Street. And I'll dispense with the rest of the reading.
Thank you very much. I think this is how we'll proceed. As far as I know, everything is in order. We all received all the paperwork, copies of the paperwork in our packets showing that the work has been completed, the road has been accepted by the town, and this is a procedural formality that we use to return the performance guarantee to the applicant or the proponent. Chris, did you have anything to add about the paperwork or any of that, or?
No, if you look at my staff report, you'll see my recommendation is to approve the full release.
Okay.
I cite the documents that have been submitted. They're all proper in form. And as to the requirements of the subdivision rules. So it looks like this should be the final release of the bond. And so a motion and vote to do so would be appropriate at this time, per my record.
All right. So I'm just going to, since we're in the midst of a public hearing, look for any input that there may be. I know Mr. Crow is here, the applicant. I wondered if he had anything he wanted to say or whatever to the board.
I'll say good evening. It's nice to see you again. But as far as the order of business, I don't really have anything to add. I think you said it all. It speaks for itself.
All right. Thank you very much. And I don't know if there are any members of the public here. If there are, would you either raise your hand or speak up and we'll try to recognize you? If there's anyone here who wishes to speak on this matter? I don't hear or see anyone speaking up. And how about members of the board for any further questions for anybody while we have the public hearing open? All right. Well, hearing.
Yeah, I presume that the town is now plowing and we're picking up trash and all of that.
I don't know. Ask Mr. Crow.
They've always been picking up trash. I'm still paying for plowing because town council, there's a couple of legal documents for easements that, needed to be redone or recorded. And that's in works. And I've been waiting for a few weeks now for the town council to return some documents that I can get my homeowners to sign, because everything else is done in awaiting, recording.
All right. Okay. Well, it sounds like it's a separate track from what we're doing here tonight. So
They would not plow until that document was filed. So.
all right. All right. Well, I'll assume that you will follow up on that yourself. So thank you for letting us know. Apparently, before we make this motion, Chris, you had advised that I should close the public hearing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Deliberating. Then I will move to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor? Ann Bardine, aye.
Cook, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Rob Phillips, aye.
Thank you. It's a 4-0 vote. And I'll now make another motion. And that motion is that I move to release the full amount of $55,000 for the Major Boyd Drive subdivision performance guarantee performance bond for satisfaction of all requirements under the West Newbury subdivision rules and regulations.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
I'd just like to thank Mr. Crow for his cooperation throughout this whole thing. He's
Yes, indeed.
really appreciate working with you, and we had useful discussions all along the way. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. And I also appreciate the work that you guys have done. And like I said, it's been a pretty cooperative experience all around. So that's a good thing.
So bring us another subdivision.
It is indeed.
There we go.
It's not broke, don't fix it.
All right, well, I second all those good sentiments. The motion on the floor is to vote to approve the bond. All those in favor? Ann Bardine, aye.
Ray Cook, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Rob Phillips, aye.
All right, the vote is 4-0 and the performance guarantee is approved to be released. So there we go.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thanks, Mr.
Thank you,
Crow.
Mr. Crow. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night.
Take
Good
care.
night. The second item on the agenda is an informal discussion regarding a scenic roads application, which is in the works. And so the applicant is just asked to come in and touch base with us and make sure everything is understood. The actual hearing will take place at our next meeting, which is January 6th. Is there someone here? First of all,
Yes.
okay, and let's share the drawing if we may, please, Chris.
Roll down here, my Indy
all
link
that.
isn't working. I
Hmm,
will be with you in a second.
We'll get there.
The application. It's already been filed and we've already scheduled a public hearing, as you noted, Madam Chair. So this is the area right here.
Okay, is there a plan? Yes, there is.
And a lot and the
Okay,
plan.
there we go. Okay. Let's scroll back up to the one before for starters. Yeah, just so we can see that whole image. All right, so I think, Mr. Hayden, are you here this evening?
Yes.
Okay. And would you like to just give a little explanation of what you'd like to talk to the board about?
Yes, we're hoping to do the scenic road application to create a driveway for the previously, I was before you for an A&R a few months ago. So that's related to that.
Okay. And members will likely recall this. This is on Middle Street.
Roger
Ro-
Street.
I'm sorry,
Rogers.
Rogers Street. And this lot was approved, as Mr. Hayden said a few months ago, and now they need to get access to their site. So Chris, can we see the drawing with the
Picture?
actual- Well, there's the picture, yeah. So I believe the application is to remove about 30 feet of existing stone wall in order to make a 20-foot driveway opening. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a standard construction way width for a driveway. Standard driveway is 20 feet wide to allow for two-way access.
Right.
And then, of course, you need a little room in and around the driveway to construct it. So that's an appropriate distance. And, you can see they're not touching any or taking down any trees.
Mhm.
But 30
Okay.
feet is standard driveway
Okay.
profile.
And I'll remind folks, this is not the actual hearing. We're just, sharing information here. So, and the plan, which I think is 2 sheets after this photo, probably.
Three,
Is that where it was?
3.
So really, the purposes of this agenda item is really to give the applicant guidance about, yeah, this looks good.
Mhm.
We agree this scenic road regulations apply, which, is a foregone conclusion.
Mhm.
And maybe give them a little guidance about what you'd like to see happen to the stones that are removed for the opening. If there's any mitigation that you generally like to see in these cases.
Right. Okay. Who wants to speak to the mitigation we'd like to see? I know we have some people for whom this is a favorite thing. How about you, Ray?
Yeah, a couple of things come to mind. Before we talk about the stonework, I got on Google Maps and I looked at those trees. I looked up in the sky and everything. Are those a couple of dying ash trees or dead ash trees?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they might be. They don't look like they're anything too special, but because they're on this side of the stone wall, they might be. ostensibly protected trees. They're sitting pretty far back. I don't know if that stone wall corresponds exactly with the property line. But if they are considered in the town right away, then you might want to double check things with our highway superintendent. Is that no, not, what do you call
Tree warden?
Tree warden, yeah.
him? The tree warden, who is also,
Yes, that's correct, the highway superintendent. But I don't
Okay.
think the
No.
trees are proposed to be removed.
No.
Right.
no, but it looks like there's some earthwork that needs to be done. I'm guessing you're gonna have to cut down a little bit in order to make in order to avoid a big hump in the driveway as you get onto it. And there's a good chance you'll be disturbing enough of the roots that it could get into those trees. So if the trees are ash trees that are dead already, and they might be from what I can tell, then I don't see how it's an
Yeah.
issue. But you might just want to check. And
That
then-
was my thought initially, Ray, that they don't look too healthy. And
No,
take-
and on
take
the
'em out
Google
now.
Maps thing, I can actually look up into the sky and I don't see any leaves on these trees, but I don't know exactly when the picture was taken.
Right, I don't see leaves on any of the deciduous trees there, so that's not a very good
Yeah.
indication.
But so that's just one thing I would suggest, just double checking the health of those trees and seeing how much you might need to cut that embankment down to have a nice driveway going in. And then the other thing is, yeah, save all the stones, and we don't ask you to rebuild the whole stone wall or anything like that, but we generally like to see those stones reused to make a bit of a return, so that the old stone walls that come in have a bit of a return built into them to sort of protect the ends.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
it's
This was
dry.
my family built a stone wall way back in the day.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, and so that's my take on it. And I don't know if I successfully expressed, there's Mr. Phillips would like to say something.
Oh, okay, yes, I don't see you, Rob, but go ahead.
You don't see me.
No, you were
Okay.
showing up on the picture right then.
So in any regards, back to Ray's question about the trees. That's a good point that we may be looking to worry about stuff that the tree warden might say, well, those things look dead, they should come down. That would still have to be done through the hearing process, correct? Yeah, right. So it's just, I like Ray's advice that we not worry about the trees if the tree warden says they should be coming down anyways.
Yes.
Well done, Ray.
Yeah. Well, I
Yep.
mean, it might all work out. And I've had all sorts of people tell me that you get around the roots of the trees and they die for sure, and then the trees manage to survive. So it's just something to consider.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Madam Chair, through you to board,
Yes.
even if, in my experience, even if those, with scenic road applications, no less, even if those are healthy trees, if you took out if you had to take out half the root structure, they would die.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But the thing, so for instance, I have similar trees to my driveway. I just didn't make the driveway 20 feet wide. It's about 12 feet wide. So it has a profound impact if you, it does go back to how wide you plan the driveway. And like Ray says, you'll probably end up digging down to make a better slope for entry, and then you will present some issues to the tree anyway. So that's why I think it's great to check with tree warden ahead of time.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could reduce the driveway width down to 18 to 16 feet. That is done in these circumstances.
Right.
But 20 feet is sort of the standard for safe two-way access on
Right.
a longer
It's not
driveway.
it's not what typically is built here, but yeah, a lot of places, a lot of properties will have wider driveways than the rest of us.
Okay, and then I mean, the actual paved width of it could be much less again, but yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure one of those is a choke cherry, actually, not a ash tree.
Yeah, they don't look like ash to me.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah,
they
that
look
wiggly-
like those things that die out after 15 years. They look ugly for the last half of their life and then they die.
Well, worth checking with the tree warden.
I have
Yes.
one
Brian,
comment.
yes, please, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of our past hearings with other property, and I can't remember which one, there ended up being an issue with a utility pole placement, and the applicant had to come back and
Mm.
ended up taking another tree out or something. So it may be too early to look, but it actually looks wide open there. I don't think there'd be any issue with, National Grid, but
Well, you may not be planning to add any utility poles. I don't know what the power situation is in there.
The power lines are on the other side of the street, by the way.
Yeah.
So-
Any-
Yeah, that's still a discussion on our side.
Yeah. The best way to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did we finish with the stone wall and what we'd like?
Well, generally, I think the guidance is that stones not be removed from the site. You know, sometimes people will use some of them to fill in places in the wall where there's a lot missing, although it sort of depends how old the wall is and what shape it's in. And then I think Ray's notion that you turn the end, because it does help stabilize the wall too.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just kind of.
The stone wall, I'm looking again on Google Maps, and
Mhm.
the stone wall is a typical old, kind of sad, pretty broken down line of rocks.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sure you'll end up with a really nice driveway there, and it'll look real, saving those rocks and doing little bits going to make it look even nicer.
Mhm.
Yeah, my wife's gonna make me do that.
See
there you
there?
go.
Well, Ray, when I was in Lincoln, we had a terrible problem with people stealing
Yes,
these
people.
old broken down stone walls
Yes.
all over town. So they do have value. So you have
Well,
to take
hell,
care
you
of it.
can go all through Europe and find pieces of stone that was stolen from one place or another, used to build this or that. Yeah, that's
Yeah, no, that is a problem. That's why we try to make sure that the property owner or the developer is sort of keeps track of them and reuses them on the site. But I don't think that's an issue here where it's a family, getting it to be a real family compound there. So we want to keep it in good shape, I'm sure. All right, any other questions, Mr. Hayden, or you think you know what you need to know in order to proceed?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, well, we'll see
appreciate
you.
your coming in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
thank
see
you guys.
back- we'll see
So,
you back
Madam
here on-
Chair, if I may,
Yes.
through you to the
Yes.
board, so the guidance here is he doesn't have to submit a new application because he's come in for the informal discussion. And he pretty much understands what the board wants and we can put that in the motion. Does that make sense? On the 6th?
Yes, but I think, I mean, is the application complete now? I didn't know if it was actually done, but
It's a complete
It is?
filed application.
yeah, oh, it is,
That's
okay,
when
all right.
That's when we
Yeah.
advertise the legal ad.
Yeah, okay,
Mm.
okay, I see. Yeah, well, we'll have tonight's discussion in mind when we make our motion on the 6th, sure.
Okay,
Does that answer your
thank you.
question? Yeah,
Yep.
okay, all right.
And by the way, I did zoom in on the plan that was provided as part of the packet. And those trees are just beyond the property line. So they are in the public right of way. So the
Yeah.
shade tree stuff does apply.
It does, okay. Okay,
Somebody
right.
did a nice job preparing those plans.
yeah, it's good.
Millennium. Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right, well, we will take this up again on the 6th at the hearing, and we'll see you then. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Now, since I think Sam Joslin is here, is that right, Sam? Are you still here? I have to look at my list. I wish I could.
Yes.
Samuel's iPad is showing.
Great. So I think, given that, I'd like to take some of the items on the agenda out of the order that's listed on the agenda, which is our prerogative.
That is very appreciated.
So before we take up discussion item number 3, we're going to zoom down to the placement of items for future planning board agendas, because we can now talk about cannabis regulations and a zoning workshop about those. I think everyone received an updated version of the cannabis bylaw that we've been working on. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's dated 12/15.
Yeah. So Sam, you want to tell us what's new and
Sure.
different about this one?
So I incorporated all of Tim's suggestions and edits. They were very helpful. I thought they, hit the mark. And then the only thing other than that I added since then was Ray, thankfully, was a really good catch. Because we talked about deleting the 500-foot buffer from schools because of the size of the business districts being less, roughly 1,000 feet long and making that pretty much not practical. But he did bring up that by deleting it and saying nothing, the state automatically assumes the 500 foot. So I did put in language in letter M down at the bottom of that first page that we opt out of the requirement. And I did put in specifically, it's a little weird language wise because it says as a matter of logistics, and I didn't know how better to word it. Just because again, being in the business zone logistically, if we had a 500-foot buffer, you just would zone it out, which would make this just an invalid document. So that was pretty much the only changes I made. Didn't know if anyone had thoughts on my added language or Tim's added language. Again, I thought most of it was reflected what we had talked about, or were good catches just on grammatical or ways to present the section a little bit better.
I think
Sam,
Ray,
do you want to say do the limited size of the business district instead of
That might be better. I
a
just
little more specific?
for whatever reason I just couldn't come up with words.
Sure.
And that was
I think the phrase that I had in my mind was due to geometric constraints.
yes,
Of the
perfect.
district. Yeah, as long as people understand. Yeah,
Yeah, due to
The
geographic
constraint relates to the
constraints of the
district.
business district.
sure.
I think that's good language, but yeah, I wanted to have something in there because I think when we bring this to the public, that's going to be a primary question. Well, why are we opting out of this?
I'd like to comment on that.
yes, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I don't think we should have any opt-out language in this.
We have to.
I find it very difficult to even think of trying to defend why we would try to encourage this business. And I have no problem with the retail operations in the state or in adjoining communities, but I cannot support something that provides an opt-out. I thought we were looking at doing the 500 feet, and if not the 500, we do something less than that, and it would only be for the kindergarten and primary schools, etc. I'd rather take my chances with the Attorney General's review of this than providing an opt-out for a business that I frankly don't want to see in town.
So in not opting out, we opt in to
Good.
500 feet.
Good.
And that
that's
would
fine with me.
essentially,
So,
but that negates the entire zoning article.
Well,
But-
then
well,
so be
But
it.
can't we opt in? Can't we opt in at a different number? That's what I thought we were going to do.
well,
Yeah.
we had a conversation that floated everything that we've just discussed and probably more.
Yeah.
Sam, you weren't here, I don't think, for that discussion. One of the things that did
No.
come up, one of the things that did come up was Ray went to find out what it was that was actually inclusive. Meaning, was it preschool? Was it summer courses offered to teenagers? It seemed as if what is really being talked about is something that doesn't exist within 500 feet anyway. So I remember the discussion being something a little bit like what Brian said, which is, isn't this about schools defined by the state as meaning schools offered to kindergarten through 12th grade? If so, that wouldn't stop anybody from going into our commercial zone. That was a point that was asked, I thought, pretty well
So
last
the-
meeting.
the language used here is right out of that section given by the state, which includes licensed care facilities, which that is exactly what's at the churches.
So
that,
does
that wasn't what
license-
Ray brought up to us at the last meeting.
we saw something from Ray that was different language, wasn't
Right.
it?
Well, can I Can I share the screen briefly?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Let's see what you had. I thought yours was a little different from the state.
Well, I don't remember that exactly, but
Let's take a look.
I just wanted to show the business district. And so if we don't include any language, Brian, then the 500 feet from, I mean, doesn't it exclude the whole district? And
Well, if-
therefore the attorney
Almost,
would-
almost entirely, yes.
Yes.
Well, there's 2 points here. I'm not sure that's a problem anyway. And the other is what we just discussed, that the language we saw was about kindergarten and through grade 12. And now I'm hearing Sam say, well, he took his language from a different document or whatnot. So
Yeah.
I'm puzzled at this.
Yep, so the two parts there. One, we are a yes community. So if we essentially exclude this use, the Attorney General will not pass it.
Right, right.
And I know you're not happy about marijuana in town, but much like the adult industry, if we have a location for it that excludes it, then they will have an as of right to put it in wherever it fits, which it would put it back to where we're at now, which is anywhere
Right.
that retail would be allowed, or grow facility, or, anything that is a similar use. So coming up with some language, I think is necessary, as limited as the business district is.
Pardon,
And then,
what-
hold on one sec, I just want to finish answering your,
Alright.
your second part. The rest of the language, I guess we could get a legal opinion on whether or not we need to include that in the opt-in or out as far as that goes, but the language the state gives specifically calls into parks and licensed care facilities, which would be, again, the church's daycare, nursery, whatever, I don't know what exactly grades they're in there, but.
Okay.
But why
Fine,
can't
so
we? What? I'm sorry,
let
Brian,
me
go ahead.
just, if you could, then let's put in 400 feet.
But again, essentially at that point, we're still restricting it to a point where it's not
But
feasible.
no, I'm sorry. I'm sure we could make it 350 feet. It would be legal and somebody could do it. And that's the point. That's the point. We don't need to do an opt-out.
I
here.
respectfully disagree.
Well, then I think we're gonna need to get a legal opinion on it, Sam. Sorry.
And that's cool. I mean, I don't live in town. It's not, but from my understanding of it, if you're zoning out something that the town has voted yes on, then it would be, just an illegal act.
But I'm not sure we're zoning it
Okay.
out.
So I don't understand. Right here it says municipalities may adopt an ordinance or bylaw to reduce that distance requirement. So why
Right.
can't we make it 200 or?
We can, but we have to be sure that we're not reducing it to a point where
It can't
it's
exist.
still
No, I
can't
get
exist.
that. But if
So yeah,
that
if it's 200 and it works, then
if-
that's fine. I'm cautioning against, essentially zoning it out by default.
Right,
That's
it
all.
seemed if that dimension on Ray's drawing, if that 250 degrees refers to, feet refers to the depth, then it looks to me like we've got more like 1,500 feet of length or more. I
We
mean,
have plenty of distance there from one end to the other.
linear distance, if you will, is, I don't. does
Can we
that-
see that
Can
again?
anybody scale that, Ray? Can you? Does
And
that
I'm open to
tab with
anything.
the-
Again, this,
No, I know, but if
I-
that's
I just-
if that's 250, then I'm seeing that going like 1, 2, at least 6 times along the linear dimension. No?
so keep in mind at that intersection on either side of that road is a church with a daycare.
Right.
Oh, I know, I know.
Okay,
So it's-
just
It's
making sure.
250 from the point of where the church is.
Well, 250 is a depth at this point. It's not what I'll call a
I
horizontal.
would say that 250 from the Catholic Church brings you to the intersection of 113 and Maple.
Right, right.
Okay,
Yeah,
So
because
you'd
keep in
be-
mind, it's from the property, not the building.
The
Right.
property, exactly.
So that
from the-
means that
I
you
agree.
you basically have the, the kind of the post office, House of Pizza, bank, that,
and the food mart, frankly.
and the
You know,
food mart,
all
which
that
is
stuff.
half in, half out.
Yeah, but there's some room there.
Well, you,
In the food mart, keep in mind, if they have an alcohol license, would not be eligible for marijuana.
Well, there you go. But I think if
So
we,
They can
so if
choose
this,
one or the other.
if this whole thing is about 1250 or 1500 feet long,
no.
and you avoid the daycares, I think there's still a possibility if we used a number like
But then
Well,
You
again,
have
the
to,
language
you have to
doesn't
look at
say
boundary
daycare.
of property to boundary of property.
Well, and what we can do is we can mark that up with the
We need to-
MyMap program.
yeah, we need to just do an analysis of that to
right.
see what residue would be left that would work with 200 feet or 300 feet.
It's going to be virtually
The
nothing.
language doesn't say daycare. The language says pre-existing public or private school providing education in kindergarten through grade 12.
But Sam's language is different, and so now we need to
Yeah,
understand why there's two different kinds of language too, and that's puzzling me.
Yeah, the state model zoning calls out the childcare facility and parks
Okay,
and
so
playgrounds.
So this website that I'm looking at, it doesn't have it right.
Is that the Triple C website? The Cannabis Control Commission's?
Yes.
Really?
Well, up here it says masscannabiscontrol.com, bylaws and ordinances.
Is this a? Huh.
.com,
Okay.
not a .gov though. I wonder.
Uh,
The point is that question is still on the table. We need
Right, yeah, we need-
clarity to that point.
Right.
And then we need what you just said about showing what would be included in using 250 or 200.
yeah, that's easy to do. I can research the language as to, and who knows, as a state website, they may have 4 different sites with, 5 different sets of languages.
Right. And you do have access to town council, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, and that's easy. And if they intended school, I can get through the, I mean, better than council, I can contact the Cannabis Control Commission directly as well.
Exactly right. So you know where to go. So
okay.
there may be a solution here that does exist. We just need to cover it from the perspective that Brian has presented to us.
Yeah, and what I'll do is with the MyMap program, I'll do like 100-foot, 200-foot,
Yes, exactly.
250, 300 buff, whatever, just to, that way you guys can decide what, fits the bill or not and go from there.
Thank you.
And just for Brian's knowledge, I've never tried marijuana. I'm not a proponent. I'm just a bylaw writer, trying to make sure we get one that passes. That's all.
And I fully support it. I think it's wonderful. It's raised a lot of money for the state. I
think the
just don't
detriments
wanna
are higher
stand
than
up
the
and
benefits.
defend why we're trying to shoehorn it in to our business district.
Well,
You quick
Well,
on that, where would you put it then? Because I'm I suggested business just because it kind of fit.
No, it has to go into business district.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I agree
Okay.
fundamentally with that,
right.
but I don't think our role should be that, oh, we'll just here, you want to do it, you're free to choose. I think there should be as tight a parameter as possible and certainly be legal.
Right. As tight as
um,
can be legally done.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think
Cool.
this is great. We've figured out just, a very specific couple of things that we need to know. I think the rest of the language is pretty well established. And we'll, come back to this when we have this analysis. We want to go to the town with something that makes sense. And then, of course, once we do hold a public hearing, we will get feedback from folks and we may have more discussions, but
Yeah, and
Sam,
I do think
Okay.
that Brian's
Yes.
absolutely right. When it goes to public hearing and, this is something that people are really going to key upon. So
Yeah, I think we
it
need-
makes sense to spend a little extra time and try
Oh,
to
yeah.
I'd like to do it
Good.
once.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
not in a big,
yes.
this is not a terrible hurry. Yes, Chris, did you have something that? to
Through
add?
you to the board, so the preference of the board is to put this on January 6th agenda as a zoning workshop, and we'll revisit this whole thing. Is that enough time to?
Oh, us, not for public hearing, no.
Yeah, no, just to take it up again. I don't know, Sam, what are your next couple weeks like? Should we do it then or later in January?
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay,
I'll
let's
make it
put it
happen.
on the 6th. Let's put it on the 6th so we don't lose too much momentum. I think this is a relatively um, small thing to have to look at. And that'd be great to have that figured out.
Then
Thank you.
one quick question, the parking, are we good with that? It seems like everyone was sort of in agreement, and I just want to be sure, before I just, let that sit and focus on marijuana, that we're all good with the parking, and, so when it comes time for public hearing, we have the two of them to hear together.
I don't
Madam
have
Chair,
it.
that's what I got out of the last discussion, the last meeting.
Yeah.
Parking seems fine, and
Okay,
we can move on.
Okay.
awesome.
All right. That sounds good. So we'll see you back on the 6th then, Sam.
Sounds
Thank you.
like fun. All right.
Very,
If
very
I
much
don't see everyone,
appreciate your,
happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy
Thank
Hanukkah,
you.
whatever
You too.
your
So much
season
for your
is.
work,
I hope you
Sam.
have a good one.
You too.
We'll see you guys.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate your work. All right, so we'll move that along. I see that Deb Hamilton has joined the meeting. Deb, it looks like you got here at about 7:35 or so.
I think that's about right. Sorry
Right.
about that.
That's okay. We'll let the minutes reflect that.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, item number 3 is the visioning, the RFP. There were some sort of speed bumps along the way in this visioning. We had talked at our last meeting, and then turned out that there was some input that was received from 2 members of the select board. It's a little bit puzzling, but apparently our draft documents were added to their agenda, and so they thought that they should do some response to it. So we kind of paused a little, figuring out how we were going to proceed. But I think at this point, what Chris Riley and I talked about is that Chris will send you the comments that were received from Wendy Reed and Chris Weil of the select board, and we can see, people can respond to Chris directly about what they think might be something that we should try to include in the final document. But I don't think, Chris, is it correct? This document is not, how much has this changed from the last time we saw this? 2 weeks ago?
The one that I provided last evening
Yes.
with some reservation.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed substantially.
Okay.
What I've been calling the meat and potatoes, the scope of services.
Okay.
That is the core of this RFP and what the consultant will do for the town.
Okay.
Front end and the back end are just procedural parts of procurement.
Okay.
So
I did have
I-
some questions on the procurement. It seems to me that it says some, I don't know that, I don't really like group editing. It seemed to me that there was some internal conflict about whether it's qualifications or whether there will be hourly wages, and we've got to figure out which it's going to be. It wasn't, I think there were places there where it was contradictory.
yeah, if I may, Madam Chair,
Yes.
for the benefit of the board, what I did is I was going down a path that I was familiar with, and then I became aware that the town has this standard sort of language that they include in any kind of RFQ or RFP, and so I substituted that
Okay.
because I thought that was the practical way to go forward to make sure this went smoothly.
Okay.
So I've been proceeding with that, and since then, I've maintained, a lot of that structure, because I think I've been told we'll have to use that. But I've added a few other bells and whistles the consultants typically see. I mentioned this last night. They're small sections. They weren't worth really reviewing. They're outside of the scope of services. Things like an intro, the schedule, the budget, all these things we've talked about and know, but aren't really the substance of what the RFP and the service contract will include. So that this thing you see that I sent last night was the full version before we sort of got this additional input.
Okay.
And that's where we are.
Okay, well, I would say it still needs a fair amount of editing as to consistency of format and other little glitchy things. I don't know, do other board members have any
Well-
substantive or any comments,
I-
Brian?
I'm just wondering, are these edits something that we could move through quickly tonight? Otherwise, we're 2 weeks plus January 6th talking about it. It won't go out until late January then, at best. I'm just wondering about the practicality
Yeah, well, maybe, let's see.
of a timeline.
Madam Chair, if I may, I
Yes,
just
go ahead.
ask that everybody just take a look at what you have. And I will send the input that we've received from the select board and other people. And just get me back whatever your comments are, and then I'll incorporate them. And if you want to see it on the 6th, then we can do that before we send it out. But
Definitely,
So-
I think we want to see it.
So I'm not seeing anything from last night. When you send out whatever you're gonna send out, can you maybe send out everything so I'm looking at everything?
I think what was sent out last night is what's on the screen now, which is not very different from what we saw before, right?
Okay, well, I didn't get it, so
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't, yeah, and it wasn't, yeah, okay.
Hmm.
I,
well, here you see in section 1, contract. I'll tell you what I added. These were ads that I added from what you have seen up until this point, what
Okay.
you've reviewed and seen and commented on. These like small little things that are typically in an RFP of this sort. Budget, we know it's $45,000. Schedule, we know we want it done by September. Accountability. And then there's an intro up here to kind of tell people this is what West Newbury is, background. So that's essentially what I filled in here. And everything else is the same that you've been reviewing up until the last meeting.
okay, so I'm gonna ask again, if we're gonna look at stuff, I'd like to see this thing we're looking at right now, and then I'd like to see the comments of the select board.
Mm-hmm.
Can that be done in one email so I can be looking at this
Sure.
instead of? Thank you.
Yes,
That's what we're
Thank you.
talking about tonight. Yeah.
yes. Okay, so that will go out. But Chris, when do you want these comments back? Because you're going to try to get this thing wrapped up so it's in
Yeah.
clear final form by the 6th, right?
Yeah. So I'll be away during the school vacation week. I'm hoping for them by next Wednesday. I'll send this stuff out tonight or tomorrow morning early. You'll have a week. Take a look at it and get all your comments in, and then you'll have a last pass at it on January 6th. But yeah, we had left the last meeting with Ann and I going to coordinate the final edits. So
Yeah.
we
and then
have additional developments, and
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah,
what we're looking at.
I can't imagine we have too many comments other than, I don't believe I've seen the select board comments.
Right, we have to look at the select board comments.
Yeah, we
Let
have
me let me get those to you.
Yes,
That's
thank
what we're
you.
proposing.
yeah,
Or I'm
those-
And
proposing-
Brian,
I'll get those to you.
I think Chris already alluded to it, but there were enough comments there that we must be paying attention to them in some shape or form.
right.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so we will all do that. Now, the
Okay.
other thing is there's that track, which I see as kind of the substance of what we want. And then there's the whole process of the RFP, but that's something that's going to be worked out, I think, in the town offices. I'm not sure
Right,
how much we need to discuss that tonight. Chris, do you?
Yeah,
want-
Caitlin's gonna take care of all the normal final procurement preparation, including formatting and the things you talked about, Ann. And then that's what goes out. So when we have something we're all happy with, in terms of all the input that we've gotten, not just from the selects, but others,
Our own, yep.
then
mhm.
then we can give it to Caitlin and she'll
right.
clean it
I,
up
I would,
again.
I would say though, that you can always be surprised, as I was when I read, this other RFQ that we were talking about. One of the things is who's going to be on the committee reviewing the responses and grading them.
So that is one of the things that came in that is
No.
worthy of.
You're right. So all I'm
Consideration.
saying, Chris, is, without getting into it, is we're gonna have to also be looking at the RFP that goes out. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
All right. And I don't think the makeup of the committee, the specific makeup of the committee necessarily has to be in an RFP. I don't see.
No. It's not the committee. It's there's Chris, use the words. The words aren't coming to me, but there's people that grade the responses coming back in. There's a group of people that the planning board may or may not be involved in that
Right.
determine who the best response comes from. Is that not correct?
Yeah, the
Chris?
consultant selection.
Okay, so there's a consultant selection
Yes.
that it's unclear to me who's on that, and that's of great concern to me.
And
Yes.
that is a very good point.
So is
Well,
that,
yeah.
is that in this
That's
document?
in the RFP. That will be in the RFP. That's why I want to see the RFP. In other words, a document that affects us like the RFP isn't going out without us also reviewing it.
Yeah, it's called the selection procedures.
Right.
At
Okay,
the
so
end of the
selection
RFP.
committee.
So
Yeah.
the RFP
Selection
isn't pure pro forma, and we have absolutely no stake in it. We do have a stake in the RFP, certain aspects of it.
Yes, so there's the selection committee, town planner, members of the planning board, and yes, TBD. So yes.
QBD, we got to discuss it.
And we need to know what the D is.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this is kind of lurching along, but I think we're gonna wrap this
So
up.
look for my stuff
Yeah.
by tomorrow morning. And if
Okay.
you have any questions or, I'll be in. But, and then a week, if you can swing that. I know it's holiday season, but that would be great and I'd really appreciate it.
When is school vacation week?
After Christmas.
After Christmas, okay.
Mhm. Yeah, that week between.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And could I just make a comment, please?
Yes.
Wendy?
Wendy, yep. Hi.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a small thing, but this is an RFQ, not an RFP. The whole contracting and procurement process is quite different between those two types
Yes,
of.
understood.
Okay, but everybody's saying RFP, so I just
know,
want to
we
make sure
are.
that's clear. Okay, thanks.
Yes, so this will be qualifications based, and that has implications for what you ask for and how you
Right.
ask for it.
Right.
But qualifications because it's basically a design type of contract or engineering type contract, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So there again, the comprehensive plan, the committee charge draft, we have a draft. This is something I think we can hammer out, over the next month or so, but we might as well look at what we have, right?
The Cohassets have been removed.
That's good.
It's now called the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee.
Mm-hmm.
People thought it couldn't be called the CPC for the right reasons. And so, there's the membership we talked about was fluid, but I think everybody agreed on this general format.
Why
Yeah,
do we
the
have,
general,
oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Why do we have an asterisk? Does that citizen lodge refer to something, or is that just stray?
There is no, that's a
isn't?
stray.
Okay.
That needs to
Okay.
be taken out.
At least I don't see anything
Yeah,
that,
I had some,
think-
but I'm gonna take that out.
It's got to go away, yeah.
yeah, I don't think we need that. Okay.
Has something to do with the
so-
number of games in a season.
Yeah, right. So one thing is we got to get the titles correct of the participants, like
School
school
committee.
committee or like Park and Recs Commission or whatever their proper titles are. We need to get it in there.
Yep.
Then down below, I get really confused about what the last paragraph is trying to say. Each of the boards, committees, or commissions will be, I understand, choosing their own participant, but then somehow we get into words of, must be either appointed to their respective committee by the select board, or in the case
No,
of the planning board,
I
duly
don't,
elected. Well, we got a lot of elected
well,
officials.
I don't think we need that sentence. You're not
No,
gonna
I, th-
be on,
I think this needs, so, I think this
Yeah.
is really good. It needs editing. That's
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
yeah, because if you are on one of those boards or committees, you either are elected or appointed, so I don't
Right,
think.
exactly, right.
seems
So,
redundant to
so
me.
other than anything that might be substantial, what I would offer to the board is, if you don't mind, if I had a word of that, I could do some editing.
Oh, please. Thank
I
you.
would love to. I would really love to, because this is
Great,
like
read
really
ahead.
good, and I think we should pay attention to stuff that isn't just like what I've been mentioning, which is just editing that anybody could probably do. Anybody on our board could do.
Rob, if I could just suggest in this particular paragraph, just deleting that middle sentence. and
Yeah,
the
that's what I
paragraph
think.
Just be the first and last sentence.
Yeah, but like Ann said earlier, do we want to do a group edit, really?
Yeah,
And-
no,
No,
but-
no,
but-
no,
Ray
I
and I just-
respect you to take it to edit. I'm just throwing this forward.
Yeah, I know,
when
yeah.
you edit it.
So
Yeah, Ray,
one
that's
of
what
the
I
things,
said too. Yeah.
one of the things we should be doing, though, is going through the list, because
Yes.
we've had discussions of how many and who.
Okay,
And
so
this, and I think Chris has it the way we left it last time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no,
as much as
because
could-
I was advocating for 7, not 9,
Oh.
so.
Well, you do not have uniform agreement, so if we
Right.
can get there, then that would be great.
Right, so
there is
so-
one, if I could just speak up for a second, there is a one comment from Wendy Reed
Wendy, yes,
in the
right.
chat, who suggests that rather than energy and sustainability, we would use the climate change resiliency committee.
Yeah,
And
and I've had another select board member say that energy and sustainability are very, 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 very important to this process. So
Yeah, well,
we're- so maybe we should continue our discussion after we've edited it and sent it back out.
Well,
mhm.
we could have a little discussion right now, couldn't we?
Sure.
What is the difference? What's the magic of 7 or 9 people? They're
The
both
bigger
nice
the-
odd numbers.
Yeah, right. The larger the committee, the more you get into groupthink, yeah.
What I may say to you, through you to the board, is what I have found in my experience is, yes, you want a manageable committee of a smaller size if possible, but people will become unavailable or drop off, and you will be left struggling to get a quorum. So it's
Well-
important to have a bit of a buffer on the larger
Right.
side. That
Well,
would be my
The quorum
recommendation.
changes depending on the size. So, I mean, I mathematically, I don't know how true then it is, but these are, the people that are gonna come on board are pretty responsible people.
Okay.
I would rather have a conversation about why not energy and sustainability versus resiliency, maybe both.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, let's see if there are any other comments from board members first before we reach out to
Well,
Ms.
the only
Reed.
thing that I want to add here is I look over the list and I appreciate the fact that a smaller committee is probably gonna work more efficiently, faster, something like that, but who are you gonna remove from this list?
No, I'm in agreement with you there, Ray. But all I was trying to point out was we hadn't actually reached a consensus on certain aspects of this. I have heard from another select person that that the Concom is very important to have on this commission, but perhaps the open space, who already have their master plan, so to speak, maybe that's kind of doubling up that type of concern. So maybe resiliency is more important than open space. I would also like to say that the steering committee shouldn't, we're going to probably have a lot of work done outside of the steering committee. I'm most concerned that the steering committee be people that are knowledgeable of many areas within town and sympathetic to the concerns of many of the different areas in town. So, Ray, to your point, yeah, if it were this length, that's fine. Then it's just a matter of who's going to represent the broadest knowledge of the town and what it's been going through. I like that we've added the school board. I could see perhaps not open space and maybe the resiliency.
And I'll just put in a biased vote to keep open space.
Yeah,
The first
okay.
committee that I served on, I think it's important to be in here, but I recognize that I may be biased.
Well, now we're going towards 11 if we add resiliency.
I don't know that we necessarily need Park and Rec. Park and Rec and open space have a certain degree of overlap, perhaps.
Mhm.
Perhaps. Well, I mean, in the end, I'll defer to the wisdom of the board overall with the input of the select board.
Well,
I'm
and I
just
think
saying that my instinct tells me open space should be there, but
Yeah,
we do have to remember too, this is a steering committee, but
Yes.
when
yes.
the actual master plan comes along, we're going to have people hopefully from 20 or 30 committees and
We're going to have many people, we hope, participating, and it's just a steering committee. And the thing about it is to make sure that broadly you're covering as many important areas as possible, even if they don't directly relate specifically to a board.
Madam
Resiliency
Chair,
is,
if I may,
yes.
in my experience, the essential importance of the steering committee is getting people involved and
Yes.
getting the public engagement working and making sure people come to the events. And, there's a robust public engagement process.
right.
Otherwise, it will not be a credible product at the end. So that is, to me, in my experience, that's the essential function. of the
And
steering
that's why when I look at this, I prefer to think of who actually as an individual is going to end up on this steering committee. So, if we focus on boards or commissions or committees, I think that it would be important to also think about who might be stepping up from those boards and committees.
Well, there is that, but then boards and committees change personnel and, it's so,
Well,
Yeah.
not really,
yes,
but
you can only start with what you start with. It's
yeah,
true.
exactly.
All right, so we're still, I would say, a little bit up in the air about the makeup of it. Any other sections that have jumped out at people? Nope, not hearing much. I'm just going to ask Wendy if she wants to fill out her suggestion a little bit. What are you thinking why this would make more sense?
Well, I just, the comprehensive plan is looking toward the, future planning for the town. And I think climate change resiliency could be a huge thing, not
Yep.
only along River Road, but also along all the streams and
Right.
rivers through town. Sustainability committee is still important, but that's more like building energy usage. It doesn't have broad implications to residents in town. It's more on town-owned buildings. So that's my thinking on it. I mean, I think both are important, but perhaps for the comp plan, resiliency is more important.
Yeah, I can sort of see that the climate change resiliency folks might be more future oriented in a big picture way.
Right, but how about this? Board of Health versus sustainability and energy. I think we can agree the school board is really important. School committee is really important, given what we're going to be going through with both Page and Whittier. Is there a way to include both sustainability and energy and climate on this committee? Does the Board of Health add a lot? I mean, they certainly will have their part in it, but I'm not so sure that.
Well, I guess one thing I would say about the Board of Health is there's quite a wealth of information, quite a wealth of knowledge there
Mm-hmm.
about the land in town and also about, what was I just, Oh, the whole storm, but given that they're doing stormwater too. I don't know. It
Yeah,
seems
but
like,
stormwater is gonna be handled by itself. I mean,
no.
I don't think that is well, so anyways, this is the
Right,
nature of
this
the
all, yeah,
discussion. Right,
yes, this
exactly.
is the discussion. All right, well, now we have some idea of what we have to figure out.
Right.
What about, and then the task itself may be a little clearer. The makeup of the group may be the
Yeah,
most
and like
difficult.
someone else just said, remember that we're gonna have a consultant come in that should have good chops, know their business, and then, like someone said, Chris was saying, the steering committee is important, but it's the involvement of a lot more people. We had 40 or 50 people active on chapters on the last one, and I would hope we were gonna be doing the same thing. So there'll be a lot of inclusion, and the work's actually gonna go down to the level that we're now having some discussions about, by who's on the steering committee.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I think we may be able to leave this for now. People should,
Think
So
on it.
Madam Chair, just in terms of action items, I'll get Rob a Word version and he can kind of go to town.
Thank you.
And we'll talk
Yes.
about that at the next meeting.
yes, please,
Got a running agenda item.
yes.
But we don't, just in terms of when we need this, we don't need it until the consultant is on board, practically
Okay.
speaking.
Right, it's more of a mid to late January thing to get it hammered out, yes.
Right,
But
right.
let's
Sooner the
not
better,
lose
but-
momentum if we've already got, Rob's ready to go. Let's get it done. Okay. All right, I'd like to move on to general business. Minutes, we do have some September 2nd minutes. If people had it, oh, I'm sorry, Rob, yes?
Just, I didn't see it on the agenda, I apologize. I do have a question about the coming year. Do we have someone in place for us to work on any subdivisions or anything that come into us?
I don't know what you mean.
There
peer
are-
review.
A peer review? Yeah, where are we with the peer review? Yeah, well, let's leave that for a minute.
Okay, thank you.
We'll get to that.
Yep.
So the minutes, did people have a chance to read these? I think they arrived late last week, maybe over the weekend, Monday sometime. I didn't have any specific comments. Not hearing anything from my usual close
No.
readers. Ray, Tim, Brian, nobody? Very quiet.
Mhm.
Well,
All right, well, that's a good thing. Motion to approve the September 2nd minutes as submitted.
Second,
All in favor? Ann Bardine, aye.
Ray Cook, aye.
Deb Hamilton, I.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Rob Phillips, aye.
All right, thank you. MVP updates, MVPC updates? Anything?
No, the
Brian?
meeting is this week.
Okay, affordable housing?
Yes, we did have a meeting and let me just look back at my notes. I'm sorry. Our current account has enough money in it that we could actually build something, but we're not prepared to do that. We have given out a couple of the small grants to homeowners in town. I don't have anything else. Wendy might have more to add, however.
Okay. Anything to add on that regard, Wendy, for affordable?
Yeah,
housing?
so we the Mass Housing Partnership, who is doing the feasibility study
Mullen,
for us on the
right.
Mullen property,
Yeah.
they've completed all the engineering work, identifying wetlands, utilities, and that kind of thing. And so now they're working on a build out plan for the property, and we should have that in mid-January.
Well, that's exciting.
Yep. And there have
Wonderful.
been quite a number of abutters who have started attending our meetings. So we're trying to keep them engaged and, informed. to try to minimize any follow before anything even happens, but we'll see how that goes.
I was just
Right.
gonna say, it's beginning to form a little hubbub around town. I've been
Yeah, all the-
approached, while walking the dogs.
Yep, the pink flags along Church Street are like a beacon, you know?
My goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Little lighthouses.
Yeah.
That could just be your radium personality, Professor Crowe.
Yeah, I don't think so, but thanks, Chris.
All right, well, we will stay tuned. That sounds very exciting. I mean, I'm just, after all these years of kind of dreaming of an affordable housing trust, now we have one and now it's doing things. I think it's really great. So thank you. CPC?
So we had our required annual public hearing under or led by the capable hands of
Mhm.
Ms. Reed, and it was efficiently done. Not a whole lot of input there. There's a sizable amount of funds
Mhm.
in the undesignated accounts.
Mhm.
The housing allotment that occurs every year, and Wendy, correct me if I'm wrong about this. It's now the CPC standard operating procedure to move that into the affordable housing trust kind of like quickly.
Right.
I dare say automatically. But there's a chunk of money out there, and yeah, there was some discussion about Soldiers and Sailors building again,
Mm.
and appropriately, Wendy pointed out that it is not the CPC's job to find projects for the money, that the proposals have to come to the CPC. And there seemed to be a little confusion at the meeting about that, but I think it went fine and it sort of straightened out. And yeah, I don't know of any particular proposals that are new to us. So
Okay.
there you go.
Yeah, it's an interesting phenomenon. Because we all contribute to it, and it would be good to see some of the, some good use happening with that money. But anyway, not our problem either. All right, correspondence. Was there any correspondence this month? I didn't see anything.
Nope.
Okay. Meeting calendar, that needed some corrections. So I think every month except for July now has 2 meetings. The November 3rd meeting, if that were a meeting date, would be election day. So it was shifted to Wednesday, November 4th. I think we talked about that. And this is not cast in bronze. We can always shift that around as need be as the time gets closer. But for now, it is, we've at least staked out a spot that is not election day. Anybody else have other comments on the calendar?
So the rest are all the second and fourth Tuesday?
Nope, first and
First
third.
and third, first and third.
Yep. First and third Tuesdays. All right, I think that looks fine. Thank you, Chris, for making those edits.
All right, I'll go ahead and post it and we can
Yeah,
always alter it as you say.
yeah,
maybe.
yes, we can. So the other administrative details, the status of this engineering agreement. Did we ever hear back from Meridian, Chris? They had been kind of,
Meridian's fine with, I guess, continuing as the consultant. They prefer to. They're aware of the situation, and I said, they asked if we see something in RFQ, should we apply to it? And I said, yes, you should. But
Whoa. What's
Wait
the
a minute.
situation?
we shouldn't need to have an RFQ.
We don't
have
no,
have
you
to
shouldn't.
do that.
You shouldn't, and we've established that. But
What we need is
I'm
an
not in
agreement
control of
from
it.
them that they agree to go forward.
and they will. That's what I just said. Yeah.
Then we have to make it official. We have to let them know that we want to go forward with them. They have to let us know that they want to go forward with us. That's what it calls for.
Right? Did
That's
you?
my understanding.
Yeah. Did you?
That's not my authority. So I told them that the board supported them continuing as a peer review consultant,
All right.
and they would like to continue.
Good.
Good. So let's put it in writing, exchange letters, and then we're done.
Yeah, I think.
If I can get you to just sign that letter I showed you, Ann, then I can get that out.
Yeah, why don't you get a letter to me and I can come in tomorrow if you want, if it's ready, and sign a letter, okay?
Yeah, it's right on the table.
Okay, all right. I will do that tomorrow. Just making a note so I remember, because by tomorrow I might not remember. All right, that's written down. Okay, right now we are at placement of items for future agendas. I think we've talked about a bunch of this. So January 6th, we will have our regular Zoom meeting. We had talked about doing a hybrid meeting with a training, but the Citizen Planner Training Collaborative has, they seem to change their schedule very frequently. They change what's happening on what day.
By
So-
the hour sometimes.
Yeah, so there is not a class of interest on Tuesday, the 6th. So on the 6th, we will take up the things that we've just mentioned. We have the Hayden public hearing. We will continue the cannabis conversation with Sam as far as the limitations of a district and offsets within the district. We'll continue with the visioning and hope that we're at 95+% complete with language. Then we can take another look at this committee charge draft, which should be farther along the road as well. Is that everything?
Madam
I have a
Chair, do you
question.
want to mention the
Naps?
Yes.
circus development?
Yes, but did I hear Brian? Was that your voice, Brian? Sorry.
Yeah, the question was from the email we saw from Chris. He's looking for a date to come in for a pre-application conference.
Yes, he is. And so what Chris and I had discussed today was that Chris would contact him and say, if you're ready and have material that, we want to have a substantive conversation. If you're ready to send us something that we can distribute so that members can have a chance to look at it before the 6th, we would do it then. And otherwise, we would go to the 20th. So I don't know whether or not you heard anything back from him, Chris. It was,
No, I haven't exchanged
yeah.
information.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. So that may be the 6th, but it may go to the 20th. I said to Chris from his email, it sounded to me as if he was kind of ready to go.
He described it as a pre-application conference, so that's a little bit above the level of an informal discussion. It sounds like that's part of the application process. He's ready to go.
Well, if it's a subdivision, it's in the regs, and he comes in for a pre-application conference,
Right.
and I'm presuming it's a subdivision as opposed to a special permit.
But didn't he say in his email something about yield plan and sketch plan?
He would like to come before us
Isn't that what it
so
said?
that he can have a discussion with us about what his options are, and then he'll take a decision of what he's going to do based upon how the discussions have gone.
Oh, okay.
Didn't his
Okay.
email, Rob, say something about us?
I'm going based upon a previous conversation with him of what his intent was. I think it hasn't changed. I wouldn't know that, but I think what he wants to do is just inform us of the couple of ways he can go, but he would prefer this, but he needs to know what we think about certain aspects of that. So that's
Okay. So
that's
is
as
that,
far as I know. So that's what I think might be happening. I think it's a matter of, and I think you've done this before with people coming in and saying, well, we could do this, but we need to know what you're going to require of us or whatever. So,
yeah, absolutely. I'm
right.
not doubting that. Was just relying on what I think, Chris, didn't you send that email to everyone?
Yeah, Madam Chair, he mentioned specifically the
he said,
term in the
yeah,
in the regulations, yield plan. So he wants to show you a yield plan that you agree is valid. That's
Yeah.
So
my,
that implies a
Well,
special
he's
permit.
going to have questions about,
well,
yeah,
so this is the letter that he sent that was forwarded to us last night.
Yeah.
And I apologize, Rob, if you didn't get that.
no, I've read it. I'm trying to.
Okay.
Right.
It says we are putting the finishing touches on a yield plan and sketch plan for the 187 Main Street property, also known as the Knapp's Greenhouse property, and would like to request a time at the board's next available regularly scheduled meeting for a pre-application conference.
Right.
So
So I'll be,
so it'll be the 6th or the 20th, depending on his availability and readiness to come in, right?
well, and the information that he provides, so we have something for you to see and
Right.
be able to weigh in on.
Okay, all right, so we'll have plenty to do. Hayden, Cannabis, Visioning, Committee, and perhaps Sarkis, we shall see. All right, so that's future agendas. And then I think as to January 20th, there's nothing specifically known then. Some of these things may slip, something else
Sure.
may come in, so we'll just keep our knees bent, as they say. Now, on this list, we do see CPTC workshops. There is, in fact, a workshop on Wednesday, January 7th at, remind me what time? 5 o'clock, Chris, was
I
it?
think it's 5:30 on that one.
And it is in regards to the comprehensive plan and basically generating community enthusiasm for it, which sounded very helpful. Are you able to share that listing, Chris? Is that readily available for CPTC? I didn't print. Maybe that's gonna
Yeah,
be,
no, I didn't.
yeah.
It changes by the day, but
I know.
what is the current one? Let me see if I can pull it up here.
So the thought would be that this could be an optional event if folks wanted to come in the day after our meeting and watch this training. I mean, I guess another option is that people could do it at home, right? We wouldn't
Are you
have to.
seeing this?
Yes. Oops,
So if I
yes.
click on that, this should be the
Where
current
is-
list.
yes, where is it?
Wednesday, the 7th is at
planning
5
with-
PM. Planning
yeah,
with community support. That's master planning.
Planning with community support. How to
excuse
conduct
me.
a planning process. So what do folks think? Is this of interest? Should we try to do this together? Should we?
I'm not available, but you
Okay,
know, it certainly is of interest, but
yeah,
I can't
okay.
do it.
It would strike me as a worthwhile thing to attend.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think
Mhm. Yeah.
focus
Yeah,
the
this
mind.
presenter is good in my experience. The next one on a Monday, and I know you can't make that, but that seems more to the point. And Ralph Wilmer, this guy, he is sort of told Dan the rock star of
Oh,
land use planning and statewide. So and
Yeah.
Sarah Scott's very good too. So that would be probably a really worthwhile class.
oh, maybe.
So of the two, you think that one would probably be better?
It
Which
sounded
one
like
would be better? You're probably
The Monday
creating
one?
master plans, Monday, January 12th.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we should look to that. Yeah, I'm not able to do Mondays, but that could be a good one too.
I'm traveling. I can't be
Either one. Yeah.
out
Okay.
west.
6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
Well, let me know and I'll register. The town will pay for it with our meager planning budget. I don't even know if we have a budget, but we'll pay for it somehow.
Well,
And these are all virtual? These are Zoom meetings?
Yes.
Yeah, the thought was that Chris would be able to register and then we would do it in the hearing room and
Oh, and sit together.
sit there and watch it together, right, Chris? That would be the idea.
Yeah, and I've done that. It's a little Weasley, but I've done that before and gotten away with it. I guess they call me out sometimes when I'm on the cheap.
Oh,
Well,
it wouldn't be in an effort to save money.
Yeah, no, we would
No.
still register everyone.
Yeah, we could register as all as individuals if you want to.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
just
think,
a matter of whether we want to do it together or remotely, or
Right.
some may opt for in the office and others might prefer to do it remotely.
do it remotely at home
Yeah,
would be the other thing. Well, we should decide that now because if we
It's coming up.
January 6th, it may be hard to, I don't know. They must register anybody who wants to come, right?
Well,
What's your sense of your preference, home or office?
but I'm good either way, and
I am
you know,
too.
I can do the 12th.
Yeah, I can't.
I can do the 12th, and I'd prefer the office.
Okay.
Well, I'll come in, Rob. I'll keep
Ray?
you company.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll
Okay.
do that too.
Have
Chris,
two.
does that interfere with your day if we do that? Are you going to attend to this, or
I will be happy to be here.
Yep,
you
okay.
will?
Thank you, but don't worry about that. I'll be here.
We do
Okay.
worry about you, Chris.
I thank you. I
We
appreciate
do.
it.
Of course we
Yeah.
do.
Okay, and we know that I'm not available and Brian's not. Tim, I haven't heard you speak up, but maybe you'll decide.
It all depends on what's happening with work, you know, at that point. So I'll make it if I can,
Right.
probably remotely. That'd be my
Okay.
guess.
You
Thank
won't
you.
have- might be out there plowing snow, I guess, right? They don't drag you into that anymore. Okay. All right. Well, let's aim for the one on the 12th. And it sounds like a number of people would like to do it at the office, and Tim might join separately. So, Chris, just keep us posted on any details, whatever we need to do for registration.
Will do.
Right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. Items not reasonably anticipated. No, I didn't anticipate it was going to be 50 degrees on Thursday, but that's about
Wow. No,
all
no
I
change.
can think of.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. We've held on to this snow now for, just for
Yeah.
look's sake for over a week.
Mhm.
And we're
Brian
gonna
can
lose it.
ski on that, no problem.
We're gonna lose it. Yeah.
Brian won't be happy.
Oh, well.
No, well, anyway, that's a moment of levity, but I think we're all set. Chris is going to send out 3 documents to everybody, and we'll hope you have a chance to look at those.
Okay,
Will do.
Otherwise, it's one of those 3 weeks without a meeting
Oh,
time of year, plus the holidays. So everybody should come back ready to
that's the way
attack
it
it
always
all.
works. You hit the ground in January.
I'll hit the ground running on January 6th.
Well,
All
if I
right.
don't see any of you, have a
And-
wonderful and healthy and happy holiday.
Before
Yep,
we
Merry
part for
Christmas,
the
happy
year,
holiday,
I'd like,
everybody.
Oh,
I'd-
Rob has
I-
something. Yep.
I'd really like to thank Chris
Oh.
for
Okay.
how well he's done.
Yes.
And I'd like you to know that I think all of us greatly appreciate your efforts on our behalf.
yes, thank you.
Yes.
Here, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really enjoying working with this board, and I'm grateful for it. So,
Great.
thank you.
Cool.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy
You
New
too.
Year to all.
Happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy.
All that good stuff.
All those things. All right,
Yeah.
You too.
guys.
Thank
All right.
you,
See
everybody.
you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Have a
Take
good
care.
night.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Good night.